people freaking out. Like cars blocking the entire city basically. Bumping on the police car windows, some were flashing their butts, like dancing on the street.
Yeah, flashing their butts.
Yeah, like heavy flashing. Heavy flashing. Then you did your bike tours.
Yeah, I did a bike tour. I went with a bicycle to Krakow, to the salt mines in Wieliczka. I think it took me a little bit over a week. When I do a bicycle tour, I do it low budget. Low budget means for me that I don't take anything with me and
not take anything means a backpack which is that big.
That's right.
For like 10 days, it's like literally a backpack that big.
That's why I do it in the summer. So as usually the general rule is 3 offs, that's 1 too many. So you have 2 t-shirts, 2 short trousers, and because I did it in the summer, I mean obviously you have some more socks and some more underwear. I mean that resulted in me freezing sometimes, but I mean what you're gonna do. I had one day where it was rainy and obviously you have to do your kilometers. My plan was around 100 kilometers per day. If you average, let's say 22 kilometers, it sounds like 4 or 5 hours. But 4 or 5 hours are never 4 or 5 hours. If you begin your bicycle tour at 10 a.m., you might believe that you're finished at 3 p.m. in the afternoon, but it's never the case. Yeah. 1 hour breaks in between somehow, then that's already 6 hours. You will definitely miss your way, and then it's automatically 7 hours. I didn't use a GPS tracker, so I only used Google Maps at the beginning of the day and whenever I felt lost. Also due to battery life, so I had an iPhone with me, but I charged it once per day. Once you think you're lost, it's already too late. You lost a lot of kilometers. You realize that after you went, 10 kilometers, not necessarily in the wrong way, but if you drove somewhere where there is like a dead end, you have to cycle the 10 kilometers back and then you have your hour, which feels really, really awkward if you are already exhausted and you suddenly realize, hey, you just lost the path. So that's already 7 hours, but in the end it always takes you 8. Like that's like just from experience. Yeah, just many stories where I was very hungry and asked whether they have food, but restaurants were already all closed. The waitress basically said, hey, but I got my lunch packet. If you want to have something of it, you are very welcome of it. And I was like, yeah, but it's your lunch. No, that's fine. And she was, yeah, but here here you can have some. And those are just the very deep experiences where you, I was also asking, can I pay for it? Or she said, no, obviously not. Yeah, and that's how I imagine how people can also behave towards each other. So those were really nice things. Super clear, I will move on my way and we will probably never see each other again. And despite that, human friendliness in its core, and that was awesome. And I also did another bicycle tour a few months later, where I went through the Slovakia, just touched it, cycled through entire Hungary to Serbia, and then to the west through entire Croatia.
That was when the championship was going on, right?
That was when the championship was going on. That was like coincidence, but suddenly there was like a big bike of people and I joined them, and that was the quarterfinal of the World Championship.
With Croatia playing.
With Croatia playing. The actual plan was to cycle through Serbia, through Romania, to get to the ocean. But the mood was so intense and the Croatian people were so nice that I said, hey, if it happens that you win this quarterfinal, I will instead cycle through Croatia to Zagreb, to the capital city, to watch the semi-finals there. And yeah, as you know, the rest is history. Croatia won the quarterfinal, so I stood true to my word and cycled to Zagreb. And there I watched the semi-final with my wife.
Yeah, I went there as well and it was amazing. People freaking out. They were like on the streets, they blocked, like cars blocking the entire city basically. And like bumping on the police car windows, like some were flashing their butts, like dancing on the street.
Yeah, flashing their butts.
Yeah, like heavy flashing, definitely.
It was a little bit disgusting, but yeah, I mean, yeah, sure.
It was good fun.
It was good fun. It was definitely good fun. What else?
You started to play the piano a lot.
I also began to learn Japanese. I started to learn Polish. And
stopped learning Polish.
And then I stopped learning Polish. Regarding to CDPR, I was thinking if we have a lot of some business to conduct in the future, it would also be nice to be able to speak with them or also with the employees a little bit as well. As it turns out, at the very moment, our plans don't go towards this direction, obviously. Not because there was some beef or something. That's not the case. But as you know, there is another game coming from Valve, namely Artifact, and we decided that to try this out first, or not even try it out. Actually, I already tried it out. It's an awesome game. So I don't think, as you know, when I do things, I do them full focused, and at the moment, my full focus is at Artifact. That's also not a surprise or not a secret.
I actually spent a lot of time with the kids this year. Because especially the time when we were full on to Gwent and doing the tournaments and all that was a very good time, but I had many time obligations and I used this year to spend more family time. But now Artifact came out and played a lot since the beta.
I sang some days with YouTube. Shame over me.
Oh yeah, you did.
I mean, if I sang my time in YouTube, at least I'm watching smart videos. My wife is watching. Your last YouTube session was something with like the superstars, like
Deutschland sucht den Superstar.
Really.
The Britain's Got Talent.
Britain's Superstar, seriously.
Yeah, like I don't know what happened there. I really don't know what happened there, but it was like 7 hours.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was really pathetic, but we don't watch TV, we don't even have a TV, we only have the TV connected to movies, and I have never seen a show like that. Like, honestly, I've never seen a show, so it was, I don't know.
Yeah, you missed the last few years.
Yeah, I really
those shows are everywhere.
Yeah, they're everywhere and they are huge, but I just never came across them, so yeah.
Me, on the other hand, if I watch YouTube, I watch the real stuff. I mean, the interesting stuff.
Mm-hmm. Like super pranks, biggest fails, MMA sports. Sometimes if they are my YouTube blah blah.
Same.
Oh my god, I don't know. Yeah, it's complete nonsense. And most of them are even fake, and you know it. You know it, guys. You know that they are fakes, and you watch them anyways, regardless. It's so stupid. And whenever I did that, and the next morning full of regrets. So my advice, don't watch YouTube.
Only our vlogs.
Only our vlogs, only our channel. I did a lot of sports, but not sufficient. Which brings me to the next point, like the plans which we have in mind. Starting playing Artifact once we are allowed to stream that. We will also begin with the vlogs again. There has been amazing feedback, and the only reason why we haven't continued them was that I was not sure, like also in kind of a self-finding phase, all those things, but concluded that we should definitely go into this direction again, and because it was a lot of fun, good fun, and we love them. We love what we do. We will start with the video logs, not on a daily basis, because I think that might become repetitive, maybe not, I don't know. I was surprised that it wasn't even that repetitive when we did them daily, but we will do video logs once or twice a week, probably twice a week, but then also with alternating content. In addition to that, I would love to have one monthly challenge, self-improvement challenges. How can I improve myself as a human being, as a person? Where do I have leaks and how to fix them? In October we will do 2 of them. simply because we are not streaming yet, which means I will probably chill out a little bit more. And there are 2 monthly challenges this month. One is to stop vaping. Marty will link the description below. I will at the beginning explain why I chose this challenge and what I'm up to with, why I want to change certain things and how I'm gonna do that. And then you will also have a progression. So we will do them as separate video lines. So you won't see them embedded in the vlogs, sometimes a little bit, but not really. But they will be separate entities, because what I want is that, for example, with stopping to smoke, because that will probably be roughly the same as stopping vaping, because both are a nicotine addiction. And and there are a lot of smokers out there. And if somebody, let's say, want to stop smoking or vaping, if they are inspired like how I stopped smoking, then they are very welcome and invited to watch our challenge video line. And again, this month the challenges will be, for one thing, to stop vaping. At the moment I'm vaping a lot, and I don't even measure an amount of vaping, but I measure an amount of nicotine intake, and the nicotine intake is about 20 milligram nicotine per day, which equals roughly the nicotine amount of 1 pack of cigarettes. So at the moment I'm basically smoking 1 pack of cigarettes, and I've been doing that now for probably 4 or 5 months again. Now you could ask, yeah, but why do I smoke so much within 4 or 5 months? But the thing is, you have kind of addiction patterns don't reduce themselves completely, but it's rather you stop an addiction, but the memory is still there. So once you start an addiction, you don't start at point 0, but you basically start where you finished off your or where you ended up with your addiction the last time, which meant when I was younger, I was used to smoke 1 pack of cigarettes. I stopped that, like smoking, I stopped completely already, I think 12 years ago. So I have never touched cigarettes from that point, but I've been substituting my nicotine addiction with vaping from time to time, like time phases, and it always pissed me off, so I always tried to stop it. Sometimes I succeeded, sometimes I didn't, and then there were always these time frames where I stopped completely and stuff like this. But yeah, I think that's also a long way to go. It's not like it's like with alcohol. I mean, I don't have, fortunately, I don't have any alcohol problems, but also ex-alcoholic drinkers say, yeah, they are still addicted, or at least they announce them as such, even if they don't drink alcohol for a long time, because you have this memory of it still. So if they would begin to drink at some point, they would completely fall into this bad habit again. Stopping this entirely will not be that easy. The 1 pack a day, it will be tough. I will also have probably a bad mood and all of that stuff, you will see it. And yeah, I'm looking very forward to it.